1884, in the quiet, orderly Bandung still under Dutch colonial rule, a girl was born into a noble family. Her name was Raden Dewi Sartika, born of brave blood. Young Dewi had no idea that one day she would shake the social order and pave a new path for women across the archipelago.
Her father, Raden Rangga Somanagara, a Pati high-ranking official, was exiled to Ternate for his alleged involvement in the dynamite affair of 1893, a noble elite conflict that shocked Bandung. Dewi was raised by her uncle, practically an adopted child, but from that limitation, a dream began to grow. She often escorted her cousins to study at a Dutch lady's house, but she herself forbidden to enter. So she peeked through windows, jotting down lessons from behind the door.
Why shouldn't women be able to read and write? Why we girls only take to become wives and housekeepers? This question lit a fire within her. Then Dewi became brave. She spoke with her family, with officials, even the region. She wanted to establish a school for girls, an idea so strange at the time it was considered shameful.
Rejection came from all directions. She was once belittled and called foolish by relatives, family members from an environment that did follow her desire to learn, especially because she was a girl. Even the women whispered, "What kid of girl teach her other to shoot back?" But we know, to educate a woman is to educate a nation, and this was her fig to carry forward.
On January 16, 1904, inside the Bandung Regency Pavilion, the Women's School was founded, the first school for indigenous girls. It started with 20 students. The curriculum was reading, writing, sewing, and household skill. The school was modest but spirit blessed. In a few short years, it spread to nearly every city in West Java.
She was not alone. Her husband, Raden Kanduran Aga Suryawinata, was her true companion in this struggle. He turned down high-ranking physician to stand by Dewi, helping her build the school and even teaching alongside her.
Dewi Sartika finally gained recognition from the people, the colonial government, and her country after independence. She was not only a pioneer of women education, she became a symbol of bold thinking and brave action for the future.
During the second Dutch military aggression, Bandung was gripped by turmoil and unrest, forcing many residents to flee for their safety. Among them was Raden Dewi Sartika. As her health continued to decline, she sought refuge in Cineam, a remote area in the Tasikmalaya Regency. It was there on September 11, 1947, that Dewi Sartika took her final breath. She was laid to rest in the village's public cemetery, far from her birthplace and noble family, yet her spirit endured in the legacy of education she left behind. 4 years later, as peace slowly returned to Bandung, her family made the decision to honor her properly. In 1951, her remains were moved and reburied in the noble family cemetery at Jalan Karanganyar, Bandung. But her story, it lives on, in every girl who chose to learn, who chose to lead, who chose her own path. That's where Dewi Sartika continues to live. From behind a closed door, she created a wide open gateway to education for women.